Hello everybody, thanks for tuning in today for Vinyasa Yoga. My name is Erica and I'm with UMBC Recreation. If you're new to this class, it's structured much like any other exercise class. We start with the slow warm-up, building heat in the body. We move into a portion of the practice, a flow, where we're moving around the mat a bit more, putting some more work into our body, and then we end with the cool down, a final rest period on our back, where we remain still for about 2 to 3 minutes. That's really the biggest difference from other exercise classes. We take that time to let the benefits of the class absorb into your body, as well as give some reflection time, because yoga is not all just about the physical, it is about the mental and the spiritual as well. I want to remind everyone to always listen to your body throughout the practice safely, take breaks if you need, and always check with the doctor before you start a new exercise regimen. So today we're going to start a little differently. I don't think we start laying down too much, but we're going to start laying down flat on our bellies, head at the top of the mat. If you're taking my classes before, much like how we start to end the class, flat with your head turned to one side so you can rest on one cheek, and then arms down along the sides of the body, palms face up. And on your next exhale, just relax onto the mat. And we'll take a few breaths here. If you want a little deeper stretch for your neck, you can turn your head so you're resting more on your ear than you are your cheek. So we're really just getting a stretch for the neck here. And if you're comfortable, your eyes can close. And just deepen the breath a bit. Wiggle the shoulders away from the ears. Then gently turn your head to the opposite side, resting on the cheek or the ear. And just breathing here. Turn your head so you can bring your chin to the mat, and then bring arms underneath the chin as a support for your head. For frog pose, we're going to bend the right knee, keeping it tracking along the floor. The more you raise the knee up towards the face, the more you're going to open the hip. So it's up to you how much sensation you want to create. Take a look back. You want ankle in line with the knee. And head can turn to one side or the other, or chin can stay on the center. It's up to you, whatever feels most comfortable. We'll take a good 20 seconds or so on each side. Just opening up the hips, relieving any tension we have in the hip area. Slowly start to straighten the leg, and we'll switch sides, remembering that the more you bring the knee up towards the face, the more you're opening the hip. Ankle stays in line with knee. And if you had your head turned to one side, try turning it to the opposite side. And just breathe. Straighten the leg. Place hands, palms face down on the mat underneath the shoulders. So elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling, legs are together. Slowly start to lift your chest off the mat using the strength of your core and your low back. So you should be able to float your hands off the mat. Lifting into baby cobra, shoulders wrapping behind the heart, then slowly lowering your chest back down to the mat. As you inhale through the nose, lifting the chest back to baby cobra, belly button draws in towards the spine. Exhale out through the mouth, chest to mat. One more time, breath in, chest lifts, and exhale to release. Chin comes down to the mat, arms are along the floor at shoulder height, palms face down. Bend the left knee so toes face up towards the ceiling. Slowly start to roll over to the right side of your body, touching left toes down to the floor. They might not touch the floor, and that's okay. You just want to roll over to the right side, so we're getting a nice stretch on the right shoulder. Cheek can come to the mat. And if you want a bit more sensation here, your left arm can lift up towards the ceiling, opening the front of the chest even more. Then slowly roll down so you're flat back to the mat. Right knee bends, we'll roll over to the left. Stretching the shoulder, head rests on the mat. And if you brought your free arm up towards the ceiling on the opposite side, do the same here. Slowly roll back to the belly, placing hands underneath the shoulders. And press to child's pose, hips to heels, arms down the length of the mat, forehead to mat. Keep the toes touching, but separate the knees enough to make space for your belly. Then we'll round the spine nice and slow up to a tabletop position, hands in the knees. Keep rounding the spine into cat pose, tucking chin to chest. And slowly lift and arch to cow, gazing up to ceiling. Rounding the spine once again, back into cat. Lifting and arching. And we'll stick with this a few more times at your own pace. Keep rounding and arching the spine, moving as slowly or as quickly as you like, relieving tension and the muscles around the spine. Then settle into a neutral tabletop position. Shoulders are stacked over top of the wrist and knees are underneath the hips. Lift up to the tips of the fingers. Extend your right leg behind you, pointing through the toes, heel in line with hip. Give me a crunch, drawing the right knee in towards your chest, rounding the spine, lifting the knee high so that you can step the foot into lunge, ankle right below the knee. If you can't do that hands free, go ahead and place your foot into alignment. We're going to inch the right foot forward and then flex the foot into a modified half split. If you want more sensation, just inch the foot forward a few inches more and then flex the foot again until you get a nice stretch on the back side of the right leg. Spine stays nice and long, chest sending forward, and neck is relaxed, so you're gazing down towards the mat. Then we'll bring the foot back into lunge, so ankle below the knee. Just sort of shimmy the foot back into alignment. Draw the breath in through your nose, lifting both arms overhead. Slowly exhale out the mouth, lowering fingertips down towards the floor. Tuck your left toes onto the mat. Lift the left knee into the air, coming up to the tips of the pointer finger and middle. Then lower left knee down to the mat. Uncurl the toes, top of foot to mat. Slow breath in through the nose, lifting arms overhead. Exhale out through the mouth, fingertips to floor. Extend your right leg behind you, pointing through the toes, then return to a tabletop position. Left leg extends this time, heel in line with hip. Give me a crunch, knee to chest, rounding the spine, lifting the knee high, stepping or placing the foot into lunge. And then we'll inch the foot forward and flex the foot a few times until we feel a nice stretch on the back side of the leg. Spine stays nice and long. Take some nice deep breaths. And then we'll shimmy our foot back into lunge, ankle below the knee. Draw the breath in through the nose, lifting arms overhead. Exhaling out through the mouth, fingertips to mat. Right toes tuck onto the mat this time. We'll lift the knee into the air, lifting up to the tips of the fingers, drawing belly in. Right knee lowers, top of foot to mat. Draw breath in through the nose, lifting arms overhead. One last time, deep breath in. And exhale, fingertips to mat. Extend your left leg behind you, pointing through the toes, keeping the leg active. Then return to tabletop. Settle back into child's pose, hips to heels, arms down the length of the mat, forehead to mat. And we'll finish our warm up here with a moment of stillness. Just focus on the breath, deepen the breath. Expanding the breath through the back side of the body. If you're uncomfortable in child's pose for any reason, take a look up here. Come back to tabletop. And try puppy pose instead. Elbows to mat, palms face down, and head relaxes. You are more than welcome to take puppy in place of child's at any time. Finish up with one last deep breath here, in through the nose and out through the mouth. A nice cleansing breath. Slowly make your way back to tabletop. Plant your hands flat on the mat and spread the fingers nice and wide. Tuck your toes onto the mat, preparing for our first down dog. If you're familiar with down dog, you can lift now. If this is your first time, we'll take it in parts. Start by lifting the knees off the mat, drawing belly in. Then keeping the knees bent, we'll send the hips up towards the ceiling, pressing belly back towards our thighs. Pressing firmly into the pointer finger and the thumb. Upper arms are rotating outwards, expanding on the back side of the body. Gaze is between the feet. The most important thing in down dog is to have a nice long spine. So don't worry about straightening those legs just yet. We're lengthening our spines, getting some added blood flow to the head. Everyone look forward. Start to shift your weight forward and step your right foot into lunge, ankle below knee. Again, you can manually place it there if you need. We'll step up to half lifts, or left foot steps up to meet the right, flattening the back, hands to shins. Lower to folds, bend the knees, drop your belly to your thighs, let your arms and head hang heavy. And one vertebrae at a time, we'll round our spines until we're in a standing position. Nice and slow, taking your time, letting your chin come up from the chest last. Give me a nice deep breath in through the nose, lifting arms out at our sides and overhead. And as we exhale, we'll return to forward folds, bending knees, dropping belly to thighs. Rise, half lift, flattening the back, hands to shins. And step into a plank position. Bend the knees so you can plant your hands and step into a traditional plank pose. Lower the knees to the mat. Leaning forward for chaturanga, shoulders out past the wrist, bending the elbows, keeping them close to the body, and slowly lowering flat to the mat. Elbows are pointing up towards the ceiling. We'll lift our chest to baby cobra again, remembering not to press into the hands. And then we'll press into our rest pose, either child's or puppy. Take just a breath or two here. Slowly rise back to tabletop, preparing for down dog, tucking toes onto mat. Lifting hips up to ceiling, keeping knees bent if you're a beginner, belly to thighs. Taking a few breaths here, deepening the breath. Pressing into the top of the palm and not just the base, pressing out through the pads of the fingers. Shake the head yes and no a few times, helping the neck to relax. Then look forward and step your left foot up to lunge. Step up to half lift, flattening your back, hands to shins. Lower to fold, belly drops down to the thighs. And one vertebrae at a time will rise to standing. Remembering that chin comes up from the chest, very last. Let's do that 2 more times, lifting the arms overhead, gazing up towards the ceiling, and slowly returning to forward folds, belly to thighs. Rise, half lift, flatten your back. And step into plank. Lower the knees to tabletop and uncurl the toes. Lean forward for chaturanga, shoulders past the wrist, bend the elbows close to body, lower all the way flat to mat. Lift your chest for baby cobra, shoulders behind the heart. And press to your rest position, puppy or child's pose. A quick moment of stillness here. Bring your focus back to your breath. See how you feel in your body, what thoughts are going through your mind. Slowly rise back to tabletop, tuck toes onto mat, and find down dog, hips up to the ceiling. If both knees are still bent for you, I want you to try straightening one leg. If you notice that when you straighten one leg and press the heel to the floor, you lose the length in your spine, keep knees bent. But if you didn't lose the length in your spine, try switching back and forth, straightening one leg at a time, alternating which heel you press down to the mat. Everyone look forward and step your right foot into lunge. Step up to half lift, flattening your back. Lower to fold, belly to thighs. And slowly rise to standing. For the last time through, let's tie it in with our breath. Draw the breath in, lifting arms overhead. As you exhale out to the mouth, return to forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flatten your back. Exhale as you step into plank and lower the knees to tabletop. Take a breath in here. As you exhale into chaturanga, bending the elbows, lowering flat to mat. Inhale to baby cobra, chest lifts, and exhale to your rest position. Rise right back to tabletop and exhale into down dog, hips up to ceiling. If you weren't comfortable straightening the legs, you can always keep the knees bent. You want to practice for your body and your body alone. Find what works for you. Nice deep breaths, at least one in through the nose and out through the mouth here. Step forward, left foot. Inhale as you step up to half lift, flattening the back. Exhale as you lower to fold. And draw the inhale out as you rise to standing, nice and slow, and exhaling at the top. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale as you step your right foot back into a lunge position, left knee stacked over the ankle. You might need to kick that right foot back a few times to come into alignment, and that's a-okay. Bring your hands to your thighs, and then extend the arms overhead into Vinyasa. Left knee is still stacked right over the ankle. We're on the ball of the right foot. Take a few deep breaths into the chest here. Open into warrior two, so we'll turn to face the right side of the mat. Right heel makes contact with the floor. Arms lower to shoulder height. Left knee is still stacked over the ankle. Hips and shoulders are facing the long edge of your mat. Gaze is out over the left hand. Take another few deep breaths here. We'll lift to reverse warrior, so left arm comes up to the ceiling. We'll straighten that forward leg, getting a nice side stretch on the side of the body. And then we'll return to warrior two, knee bends and arms are at shoulder height. Lower to side angle, so left elbow comes down to the thigh and right arm comes up to frame the ear. A nice straight line from the right hand all the way down towards the heel. Left knee is still stacked over the ankle. Working the core a little bit here, strengthening the legs. Slowly rise back to warrior two, arms at shoulder height. Then windmill the arms down to lunge, lifting the right heel off the mat. Step back into plank. Lower the knees to tabletop. Lean forward for chaturanga, bend the elbows, lower all the way flat. Inhale as you lift the chest to baby cobra, and exhale to your rest position, taking a moment of stillness here. Bringing focus back to your breath, attention and awareness to your body. Just checking in, seeing how you feel. Deepening the breath here. Inhale as you rise to tabletop and exhale to down dog, hips up to the ceiling. Taking a few breaths here. Step your right foot into lunge. Inhale as you rise to half lift, flattening your back. Exhale as you lower to fold. Drawing the inhale out as you rise to standing nice and slow. And exhaling at the top. Another deep breath in to lift the arms overhead. Slow exhale out, returning to fold. Inhaling to half lift. Exhaling as you step your left foot back into a lunge, right knee right over ankle. Bring your hands to your thighs and extend the arms into Anjaneyasana right overhead. Few deep breaths into the chest here. Open into warrior two, facing the left side this time, arms at shoulder height. Left heel made contact with the mat. Gazing out towards the front of the room. Inhaling to reverse warrior, right arm up, leg straightens. Exhaling back into warrior two, knee bends. Lowering to side angle, elbow comes down, left arm frames the ear, lifting and twisting the chest up towards the ceiling. Slowly returning back to warrior two. Windmill the arms down into lunge. Left heel lifts off the mat. Step back into plank. Lower the knees to tabletop. Lean forward for chaturanga, lower all the way down. Inhale to lift the chest and exhale to your rest position, taking a moment of stillness here, deepening the breath. Slowly return to tabletop. Use your exhale to move you into downward facing dog. Hips come up. Deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Step your left foot up to lunge. Inhale as you step up to half lift. Exhale as you lower to fold. Draw the inhale out as you rise to standing. We're going to move into a little bit of balance. You can stay standing facing the front of your mat. I'm just going to turn this way so you guys can see me a bit better. We're going to start with all the weight in our we're going to start with all the weight in our right foot. Lift those toes up, spread them nice and wide, and plant them back down to the mat. Tiny micro bend in the standing leg. Turn on your thigh muscles. You should feel the muscles around your knee lift as the leg is engaged. You're going to lift up to the tippy toes of the left foot, and then open the hip so knee turns out. Bring your hands together at heart center. Option one is right here with left toes to the mat. If you like a little challenge for your balance, try bringing the bottom of the foot to the calf, keeping the hip open. If you like to kick it up another notch, you can take the foot all the way up to the thigh. You can place it there manually if you need. Knee stays drawing back so hip is open and will stay here. Whichever position your foot is in, try extending the arms overhead, challenging your balance a bit more. Extending our branches of the tree. Holding and breathing here. Keeping your gaze focused on one point to help with your balance. Bring your hands together and down through heart center and step your left foot down to the mat. We're going to switch sides. All the weight is now on the left foot. Remembering to lift the toes up, spread them nice and wide. Tiny micro bend, turn on that thigh muscle. Lift up to the tippy toes on the right foot and open the hip. And then whatever you did on the opposite side, you're going to do that here, whether that was toes to the floor, calf, or thigh. Stand nice and tall, root down through the feet. And slowly extend the arms up overhead. Deepen your breath. Bring hands together down through heart center. Step your right foot down to the mat. Lower your arms down by your sides. Draw the breath in through your nose, lifting arms overhead. Exhale out through the mouth into forward folds, belly to thighs. And slowly rise back to standing. Again, drawing breath in through the nose, lifting arms overhead. Exhaling to folds, belly to thighs. Nice and slow, we'll rise back to standing. We're going to take that one more time. Deep breath in, arms up. Slow exhale out into forward fold. And we'll hold here, don't hold the breath. Option for a variation here to open the chest, to take the hands behind the back, interlacing the fingers, pressing the palms together, and then straightening the arms up towards the ceiling. If you're trying this position out and if it's not too comfortable for you, that's okay. You can always take a step back and let the arms hang heavy. We'll take a few more breaths in whichever position we're in. All the added blood flow to our head, helping to calm our nervous system as we're moving into our cool down. Nice and slow, rise to half lift, drawing shoulders away from the ears, lengthening the spine. And step into your plank position. We're gonna hold this plank here for 10 seconds. I've already started counting. We're holding here. One last moment to sort of tire out our bodies. And then we'll slowly lower down all the way to the belly. In the same position we started class in. Head turns to one side to rest on your cheek. Arms along the sides of the body, palms face up. Let the heels fall out. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale out through your mouth, relax onto the mat. The floor's got you. And if you want to deepen that stretch for the neck again, you can rest more on the ear than you are the cheek. Slowly turn your head to the opposite side, starting on your cheek first. Moving to the ear if you did so on the opposite side. Bring your chin to the mat. Place your hands underneath your shoulders and press into your rest position. If you're in child's pose, we'll take a rounded variation, bringing arms along the sides of the body, palms face up, and shoulders melting down towards the floor. Nice and slow, start to rise up and come into a seated position with your sits bones flat on the mat and your legs extended out in front of you. Lift the arms overhead, drop chin to chest, and slowly start to round the spine into rounded back stretch, placing your hands at your knees, elbows pointing out to the long edges of the mat, shoulders relaxing away from the ears. Take some deep breaths here. Really targeting those muscles around the spine and the back of the neck down to the tailbone. Hanging out here for a few more breaths. Slowly start to lift the spine up right into staff pose, placing hands on either sides of your hips, finding some length through the spine towards the ceiling before relaxing back into a neutral position. Bend your right knee, placing foot to mat. Use your left arm to hold on to the bent knee. We'll spinal twist to the right, placing our free hand directly behind us and gazing over the right shoulder. Take a deep breath in through your nose. As you exhale out through the mouth, we'll unwind and return to face forward. Straighten the right leg for me. Bend the left knee, planting foot to mat. Right arm holds on. We'll spinal twist to the left, looking out over left shoulder. Take a deep breath in through your nose. As you exhale out through the mouth, we'll unwind and return to center, straightening the leg. Bring the bottoms of the feet together into butterfly pose, pressing firmly to the pinky edges of the feet, lengthening the spine towards the ceiling. The closer you draw the heels in towards the body, the more sensation you'll feel. If you need a little less sensation, slide those heels away. So it's up to you how much sensation you'd like to create. Gaze gently down towards your mat and take a few breaths here, really deepening the breath. Place your hands underneath the knees and draw the knees together like you're closing a book. If you're not already seated in the center of your mat, make your way there now. Place your hands on the back of your thighs and roll down until you're flat on your back, straightening the legs onto the mat. Draw both knees in towards the chest, wrapping your arms below the knees, pulling thighs close to body, feet side by side. If that's uncomfortable on your knees for any reason, you can hold on to the back of the thighs instead. We'll just hold for a few breaths here. Maybe the eyes gently close. Then nice and slow, we'll rock side to side, just giving a little massage to the muscles on the back side of the body. Finding a nice gentle sway back and forth. Keep your knees drawn in towards your chest, but lower your arms down to the floor, palms face up at shoulder height. Let the knees fall to the right into reclined spinal twist, and gently turn your head to the left. If you need some ease in this twist, you're going to lower your knees below the hips. If you'd like a little more sensation in your twist, inch those knees up a little higher above the hips. Again, creating as much or as little sensation as you feel, whatever feels good to you. Slowly draw the knees back to the center of the chest. Let them fall over to the left, and head turns to the right. And again, you can adjust how high or how low the knees sit. Slowly draw the knees back to center, wrapping the arms around them one more time, pulling them close to your body. Just stay here. If the eyes are not yet closed, go ahead and close them now. Everyone take a deep breath in through your nose, hold your breath, lift your head to meet your knees. As you exhale out through the mouth, we'll release our hold, laying flat on the mat, separating arms and legs nice and wide. Palms face up, toes fall out, and eyes stay closed. We'll spend about 2 to 3 minutes on our final rest period. Relax the muscles around the brow and focus on your breath, all attention on the breath. Every rise and fall of your chest. With every inhale, we breathe in a positive light, a positive energy into the body. With every exhale, all negative energy, things that you no longer need, leave the body with the breath. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Welcome movement back into your body. Slowly roll over to the right side of your body, taking a moment of stillness on your side. You can use your arm to support your head if that makes you more comfortable. Keeping your eyes closed or your gaze low to the floor, slowly press yourself up into a comfortable seated position. As always, we'll finish class with 3 cleansing breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Today we're going to take a 3-part breath, so we'll break the inhale into 3 parts, filling belly, ribs, and chest. We'll break the exhale into 3 parts, releasing from chest, ribs, and then belly. Let's all start on an exhale, releasing all the breath we have in the body. Breathing in through the nose to fill the belly, to fill the ribs, to fill the chest. Exhaling from the chest, from the ribs, and from the belly. Breath in for 2, filling the belly, filling the ribs, filling the chest. Exhaling chest, ribs, and belly. Last breath into the belly, nice deep breath, filling up the ribs, filling up the chest. Exhaling chest, exhaling ribs, exhaling belly. Take a moment to thank yourself for this practice. Thank your body for getting you through this practice, your mind for being patient with you. And I want to thank you as well for letting me lead you on this practice. There is a light within me that honors the light within each and every single one of you. Thanks so much for practicing with me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the class just as much as I enjoyed teaching it. If you enjoyed this class, a new version of this class gets aired every Monday at 8 a.m. If you're looking for something a little more challenging, some more work in the body, I offer a core yoga class, and a new version of that class is released every Wednesday at 8 a.m. If you are not yet following UMBC on Instagram, what have you been doing? Give us a follow, UMBC Rec. Keep up with all of our new content. We also have a YouTube channel at UMBC Rec TV. I hope to see you guys next week.